Howdy, and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing the latest and greatest in headphone technology in Logitech's Astro A50X. Coming with a hefty price tag, I'll let you know if it's worth your money. Alright, the first wave of pre-orders have shipped out, so my Christmas came a little early this year in the form of a new headset. So let's get this bad boy open. I mean, this is a brand new product. This is the first time I've ever pre-ordered some tech product like this, so exciting times here. Astro A50X, Lightspeed wireless plus base station. Now owned by Logitech. Alright, now let's see what's inside. Interesting that they have a made for Xbox sticker here. It clearly works for Xbox, PC, or PlayStation, and honestly probably Switch as well. It says mobile as well, so don't get confused there. Oh, the start setup. Okay, it looks like it comes with your connector cables that will be connecting to the base station. It looks like a USB-C to USB-A, and then a tri-pronged USB-C to a USB-A or USB-C. And there they are. Let's take this off. Microphone looks a little bit different, but still the same sleek and honestly probably the best looking headphone in my opinion that is out there these days. Looking further, it looks like we have our base station. Let's open that up. Some advertisements, or yeah, it looks like an advertisement for Dolby Atmos. Some installation instructions. I really could not tell you what this block is for. Maybe that's a good question for the audience. What is the mystery block? And what will you be using the mystery block for? Okay, here is a lot of stuff that I honestly, legitimately, oh, it looks like it's just a wall charger. Okay, and now we have a USB-C charger, wall charger. Very nice. And here is our base station. Feel the stickies. It looks like past models. Obviously now it has the Logitech logo because Astro's been bought out by Logitech. The backside's a little bit different. It's missing an optical port, but you still have your PlayStation, Xbox, and PC connections, and even an HDMI out. There's a quick look at that. Let's get this thing plugged in. So now that I've plugged everything in, I forgot. There's one more thing before we get ahead of ourselves. It's the comfort test, and that's quite important when you're wearing a headset for hours or even days at a time like some of us do. Has some nice adjustable grips here. For the big heads like me, you're gonna want that a little bit loose. All right, now let's see how they feel. Wow, I genuinely don't feel like there's any headset that feels as comfortable as the A50s do. Even the older models just always felt comfortable. I've never had a problem wearing these for long periods of time. Highly recommended as far as comfortability goes. Feels very light on the head. Obviously doesn't feel like it's pinching too much. That is going to be subjective to long hours of play, but it feels like almost possibly even lighter than the A50 Gen 4 version, and I never had a problem with those, and I have a pretty big head. So as far as comfort, they feel light, they feel fluffy, they feel great on the head. Now, the most important part of any headset is going to be the sound quality. So let's see how it sounds on the default setup out of the box. I'm going to be testing its performance in gaming, in music, and media to let you know how I think it sounds out of the box. Sounds like there's like a wider array of sound going on than I'm used to. Very loud, very loud. Sounds pretty good. Could use a little more bass, but get inside.
There are swingers somewhere here. I wanted to find one of them and infiltrate their community.
Well, that's interesting, but it sounds good. Genuinely, I'm pretty surprised by the sound of this thing out of the box. I'm used to having to set up some EQ settings, put on some modified ear cups, which we'll go over later. But to be honest, I'd be satisfied with the sound straight out of the box. Like literally, the music sounded great. Minus it could have had a little more bass to it, but as you'll see later, you can modify that in the program. The game sounded exactly as you'd want it. The footsteps were the main priority. Maybe some of the highs could be adjusted. Once again, can tweak that slightly in the settings. And media content, it sounded very crisp and all over the place. Like the highs had their own space, the mids had their own space, the lows had their own space. It never sounded too clamored up, except for those like really frantic moments in the game, like where there's explosions and guns and blah, blah, blah going everywhere. But I mean, that's how it would and should sound in those moments. Everything was very impressive. It's very crisp, accurate. It seems fast. As Logitech advertises light speed sound, which honestly I'm not entirely sure what that means. It sounds like the headphones are giving a light speed reaction, and everything that you're seeing, you're hearing at the same time. It feels, it's almost like having a high refresh rate on a monitor. It just seems like instantaneous. It seems very in the moment. Okay, so here we are looking at the new software, which is provided by Logitech itself. If you're familiar with the Astro headsets in the past, the software was through Astro, and it's been quite the nightmare dealing with that, to say the least. Just looking at this already, it looks much more professional, easier to understand, and it's probably for the best Logitech bought Astro out. Just looking at some of the abilities that you have with your new headset and new software, we have headphone presets that change the EQ. If you're not familiar with EQ, this is a line that kind of is going to show the high ends, which are the high end sounds. The mids are going to be like your voices, like how I'm talking, or the gun shooting, or, you know, the guitar in the song are going to be in the mids. And then the lows are your bass, like the deep of my voice, or the bass in the song, the boom, 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 boom. Depending on what you want more or less of, you can kind of control that here. If you look at the gaming preset, it seems that it recommends cutting out all of the low end and boosting the high end, something I'm not really a fan of. Media, it seems like a decent balance, but maybe a little bit too much bass. But I heard it and it sounds pretty good. This is probably the closest out of the presets to something that I would like. So I tried to go for a nice balance of this boost in the high and the boost in the low. And I came up with this because I prefer much more low end, a nice little boost in the high end here, which is probably where you're going to find your footsteps, right around here. So it's a brand new software. It looks great. I found a nice preset that I can use for media and gaming. Moving on, we got some microphone EQs. You can do the same thing here. Manually change the frequency response that you're going to get out of your microphone. You can see the differences. The competition one took the low end. I don't think that's good for a microphone. I think a microphone sounds much better when you have a little bit more low end in there, just like how I have my microphone set up right here. You can add a noise gate, which essentially just removes room noises. Like say you're at a fucking construction site or something, then you can enable a tournament setting and the microphone will do its best to mute those sounds when you're talking to your friends. Routing, I am not 100% sure what this does. It seems like it's something maybe for streamers. I can't even use it right now, maybe. But this new software seems like a huge upgrade from the previous one we had. I'm happy with it. And now we have the microphone test, which is a very important part of the headset to me because I record videos and it's just very nice to have a headset that sounds good and I don't need to use this fancy microphone every time I want to record some clips or some gameplay for a video. And I can tell you that I've heard this microphone before and I know it sounds really good. It's 48 kilohertz. It's probably the best built-in microphone on a headset that we've seen in a long time. I'll let you decide, but that is a huge plus and something I've been wanting and asking for, and what we've wanted to see a huge upgrade over the past models of the Astro headsets. How do you think it sounds? Hey guys, hey, it's me. Quit shooting. Now I planned on having an entire segment talking about the mod kits that you can buy to improve the sound of your headset. For someone like me that's a little bit hard of hearing, on the last gen I much preferred using the mod kit or the Wicked cushions, which I'll show you right now. Here's the mod kit, which you can buy from Astro themselves. It's a pleather covering, which kind of helps trap the sound in, makes it louder and enhances the bass, I would say. I found it necessary. I genuinely felt the sound on the old A50 Gen 4s was bad with the default cups. And here is the Wicked cushions I was talking about, which is a nice middle ground from the default and the mod kits. Plus, they look really cool. I'm used to needing these things, and I'm gonna test it out right now, but there's a good chance that I just keep using these because genuinely they feel better, they're much more comfortable, and honestly, the sound is really good. We might have a winner in the default cups here, but I'll let you know how these sound. I do really like how the music sounds with these things on it, like freaking traps in your ears and just slaps. It makes my terrible hearing worse, and I enjoy that a little bit. I'd almost argue that it's too trapped in to give you that really good spatial sound. Maybe I'd have to work with the EQ a bit more, but really interesting here. I'm not sure what to say with gaming and these leather foam cups. It sounded really good without them. Not sure. I'll have to give it some more research. Kill him, dude. He's right there. Kill him, shoot him. No, you're so stupid, bro. Oh, you saved it. You barely saved it. Oh my god. Oh my god, my heart's beating. You're not an idiot. We fucking did it. Number one. After playing some games and listening to some content with the mod kit, it's kind of hard for me to decide what I like better. I can definitely say that the default earpieces sound great on their own. If you want to get the mod kit, I'd recommend it if you want to hear things a little bit louder and you like extra bass, because that's pretty much all it does. With the default pads, it does give more of a sense of openness and wideness that you can't really get because the sound gets trapped in these mod kits. I think either way, depending on what you're looking for, you'd be happy. By the way, the ones that I'm recommending are actually called the Wicked cushions and not the mod kit. The Wicked cushions are cooler and more comfortable, I'd say. Just go with the Wicked cushions if you like what I was talking about there. Just a quick note, this is the EQ that I found works really well with the Wicked cushions or mod kit. Like I said, the bass becomes much more apparent when you're wearing these bad boys. You're definitely going to want to use a much smaller bump in the bass and a much higher boost in the highs, just so your gameplay doesn't become oversaturated with lows. Now, as a longtime user of Astros, how does it compare to past generations? I mean, I've been using the Astro since generation 3. It's probably been 8-9 years, honestly, somewhere around there. And the headsets have been great since I've been using them. Is this headset actually worth the $400 price tag? Yes, $400. Well, personally, I'd say yes. The clear sound, the comfortableness, the louder sound is all the things that I look for. The upgrade with the Logitech software versus the Astro software, fully welcomed. And probably the biggest seller for me is this crystal clear microphone that I can use while I'm playing games on the couch or playing games right here, and I don't feel like using this fancy mic setup. This microphone right here is a huge W. The new graphene drivers and the light speed technology are honestly great. It does sound like a step up in sound quality. It really does. It sounds clear, crisp, spacious. You can tell the highs from the lows, from the mids. It's all very nicely spaced, especially when you EQ it properly. No complaints. The big point, the big seller on this headset though, is the base station being able to flip between your Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. That is what makes it so expensive, because having a switch like that can switch between audio inputs and still relay it through your TV or whatever that you're using is very expensive. So that's what's making the price so high. And personally, I don't see myself using that. If you're tight on money and you want to get the best bang for your buck, you could probably go somewhere else. Maybe check out Odyssey. I've heard those are really nice. They're not going to have that switching through consoles and PC on the go ability that this one has, but you might get a little bit better sound quality. I honestly couldn't tell you. I've never used them. But in my honest opinion, the sound quality, the microphone, the new software, the support from Logitech is nothing short of fantastic. These headsets are great. If you can afford them, I wholeheartedly recommend them. It gets 2 thumbs up from me. Maybe in the future, they can introduce a version that doesn't have this fancy base station and just include the headset and a one-way base station, which will provide a cheaper price for the great audio quality that these are giving me right now. An improvement across the board from previous generations. I'm going to leave it up to you. Are you going to be buying them? Now, this isn't my usual content style, but I enjoy reviewing things like this and hope it helped you out. If you'd like to see more of my personality and my gaming stuff, go ahead and shoot a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Until next time, peace out.